Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and it's time. It's time to talk about The Last Dance. No, not that Last Dance, get that out of here. I'm talking about Venom, The Last Dance. If you want to see me talk about Channing Tatum, go watch my Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler review. But no, in all seriousness, yes, we are here to talk about Venom 3, The Last Dance, the final, at least so they say, Venom film. Although it did feel very definitive that it was the final film when watching it. So I kind of believed them this time. Maybe. But yeah, so, we should get started, but first, I got a story to tell you. So, quick story time real quick before getting into the movie. I'm hoping this doesn't become a thing, because I had a story time before talking about Deadpool and Wolverine and my spoiler-free review of that. But yeah, we're going to give you a little story time for this one as well. Because I had a crazy experience with this one. So I went to see Venom: The Last Dance with my family in the theater, obviously opening night, and they were having issues. So everything was fine throughout all the trailers. Everything was fine during the whole other stuff that they play, like the whole go buy a Coke thing and the whole Nicole Kidman, we come to this place, and that it was all fine. And then the actual movie itself started, and the picture was terrible. It was all blurry. It was like the picture was shaking, which was weird. Like I can't even describe it as well. Like I could only really show you it, but I can't. I probably should have just taken a picture of it, because probably didn't matter that much, but I didn't think to. But like that was the best way I could think of describing it, is that like it looked like the picture was shaking left to right, and it made the picture blurry. And at first I was wondering, because of the scene that they were showing us, I thought, wait, is this a creative choice on purpose, or is this a problem the movie theater's having? And then we got to a scene that should not have been like that, because we've seen it in trailers and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, they're having some issues. I think we got 10, maybe 15 minutes into the movie. Some people were walked out saying that they were gonna tell them about it. And then they came back in telling the everyone else in the theater that they said they were gonna fix it. The movie kept playing with the same blurry, shaky image, and then all of a sudden the movie just freezes, almost like someone hit pause on the movie. We waited there for a few minutes. I left to use the restroom before it started, just because I thought, well, this seems like a great intermission. So I did that. I came back, and when I came back, it looks like they rewinded to like some sort of trailer or behind the scenes thing, because it was two people talking, and then all of a sudden it went back to the movie and it started over with the Sony logo, but this time the picture was the right way. So they got the movie fixed. So that's good. We were there a couple more minutes than we should have been. I have no idea what the problem was. I don't know if it was a problem with the projector or because they don't do film anymore now. It's electronics. I don't know what the problem would have been. I don't know if it's a problem with like, I don't even know. I have no idea what the problem was, especially because everything was fine except for the actual movie itself. But they fixed it, so I wasn't too upset. So yeah, an interesting experience for Venom: The Last Dance. But now we can dive into the actual movie. Story time over, unless you skipped it with the time codes, which is very possible. How dare you? But yeah, let's jump into the actual movie now. And I really enjoyed the movie. In case you don't know, I really enjoyed the first two Venom films. I really enjoyed Venom, and I really enjoyed Venom: Let There Be Carnage. I don't think this is the best interpretation of Venom, because there's no Spider-Man because of there being no Spider-Man connection, as well as I still view Venom as a villain. I mean, I enjoy him when he's an anti-hero, but I still mostly prefer him as a villain, at least to start, I guess. But I still have a lot of fun with the movies, and this one is no different. I had a lot of fun watching it, especially in the theater. And it was a pretty crowded theater too. It wasn't like packed, but it was full. Like I noticed that like the whole, like the back couple, I think the 5 back rows were completely full. And then after that, it wasn't too packed, but it was a decent amount, about half half the theater, probably half capacity. And it was a really fun time. There was some really fun action scenes. There were some really funny jokes. Some, not all of them landed. Some of them landed flat, but some of them also landed and made me laugh. And what's weird too is that there's actually some emotion in this movie too. Now it's not enough. I wouldn't say it's not enough to make you cry, but technically I don't know that, because it didn't make me cry. It definitely made me feel something. It definitely hit me in the feels. But apparently it made some people cry, because there was a kid sitting behind me, and after the movie was over, I heard him turn to his mom or guardian, or it could have been his sister, I don't know, I didn't look, but he turned to them and and he said, "I don't even know why that movie made me cry." And I was just like, huh, I understand. I understand, kid. I understand. It didn't make me cry, but I understand why. I'm not going to go into why, because he did say why he thinks he probably cried, which I'm not going to go into because, no spoilers. But still, I think some of the emotion comes from Venom and Eddie's dynamic, especially if you followed them throughout the years, as well as because they do treat this as the final movie in a trilogy, and whenever done well, the final movie in a trilogy can make you feel emotional, and because they do treat this like the final movie in the trilogy, that's where a lot of the emotion comes from. There were also some really sweet moments, like you see in the trailer. There's this kid in the movie. I'm not going to say much more, but that kid you see in the trailer, he has some really sweet moments with Eddie, and I really enjoyed a lot of those moments. They were really sweet. Now, let's talk about Null, because you saw him in the trailer. Null is in this movie, the King in Black himself, and he was pretty good. They definitely made him feel menacing. Personally, I think they made him feel very menacing. But he does have a very, I don't know how to explain it, because technically a lot of the movie does happen because of Null, but it's because he's sending creatures after Venom. So even though he has a very small part in the movie, like you only see him for a total of like maybe 10 minutes, but because of he's the one sending creatures out to get Venom, it does set in motion the events, certain events of the movie. So I guess definitely need more Null, but the director did say that we will be getting more Null. I don't know how they're going to do that. This is the last Venom film, because I don't have any interest of seeing, well, at least not right now. Maybe they'll change it, but I don't really have an interest of seeing Kraven, Morbius, and Madam Web team up to face off with Null. So, and they said this is the last Venom film, so maybe he'll go over to the MCU. I don't know, man. I can't tell you too much because of spoilers. So I don't know how they're gonna bring Null into the future, but I guess we'll see. Also, I have to point out the Venom Eddie dynamic is great in this movie. It was really good in the first two films, and it might probably be at its best in this movie. It's the most enjoyable I think the Venom Eddie dynamic has been throughout the trilogy. As well as, I did end up liking the majority of the characters, even if they weren't the bestly written, the amazingly written. And I have to say, I thought the third act was so much fun. It was a blast. It just put a huge smile on my face. I really enjoyed that finale. It definitely goes out with a bang. And in total, this actually does seem like a pretty satisfying conclusion. Although I would be perfectly okay with it if they changed their mind and do a Venom 4, or if they bring the character back in Spider-Man 4 or something like that. Those are just rumors, not confirmed yet. But if they were to do that, I'd be okay with it. But if they're true, if they're telling the truth, this is the last Venom movie, this is Tom Hardy's last dance, then I'm okay with it. I thought it was a pretty satisfying finale to this trilogy. I do have this weird thing where I feel like they probably could just stop with the Sony spin-off movies, but I know they're not going to, so I don't know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, although, as much as there are a lot of things I liked about the movie, it's not a perfect movie. There are some moments in it that are very cheesy and are just like, why? But you know, yeah, I'm able to get over that as long as I'm having a good time, and I was. Also, some of the characters and the storylines I feel like weren't properly developed. Like there are certain characters, three that I'm thinking of in particular that I'll be completely honest with you, I don't remember their names. But I feel like they could have had way more development than they got. Just because I feel like they were trying to make them a big part of the movie. One of them does even have a backstory, but I feel like we didn't dive deep enough into the backstory, and I didn't understand their motives very well. I mean, I did understand them somewhat, but they're like very, very basic. So I honestly think that some of the characters could have been developed better, and there's some story things that could have been developed a bit better as well. And there were some things in the movie that I do think that they were just threw something in late, something I don't like saying lazy, but it did kind of feel lazy, just so they could get from one thing to another, because it kind of felt like, well, we need this to happen, so let's just throw this in there so we can get from this to this. And I'm not saying I don't like saying that's lazy, because I couldn't tell you a better way to get from one place to the other. But it still was kind of noticeable where it's like, well, we could have done that a bit better. Again, I can't dive into the specifics because spoilers, but you know, you might notice it, you might not. Not everybody noticed it, at least the people I've talked to. But I noticed. It doesn't happen too often, but when it does happen, it's kind of like, oh, well, okay. But yeah, so that is Venom: The Last Dance. Like I said, I really enjoyed this movie. I think it is a blast. Now, should you see this movie in the theaters? If you are a fan of the Venom movies, if you like Venom from 2018, if you like Venom: Let There Be Carnage, then yes. If you like this movie, this is a must-see in the theater. You have to see this in the theater if you love the first two Venom movies. But if you didn't like the first two Venom movies, then I would say wait for streaming. I mean, you already watched the first two, you might as well see how the trilogy ends, so wait for streaming if you didn't like them. But if you love them, you gotta see it in the theater. Just saying. But yeah, so in case you're wondering, yes, there are two post-credit scenes in this one. One in the middle of the credits, one at the end of credits, so if you want, you can stick around for both of those. I think the first one is more important than the second one, though. But if you've seen the movie, tell me, what did you guys think without spoilers? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was okay? I thought it was really enjoyable, not perfect, but really fun. So you guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm undecided. I might make a spoiler review. Depends on if I find the time to. So I probably will, just because it's a Venom. But we'll see. Thank you guys so much for taking time to watch this video. If you like this video, please hit like. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. And until next time, remember, we are Venom.